Welcome back to the channel. Today is Zero Waste Kitchen Part 2. I'm going to take you on a little tour of our kitchen to show you how far we've come in the last 6 weeks on our journey to becoming zero waste. Our goal is to eliminate all single-use disposable from our house. That means anything that can't be reused, recycled, or composted. So let's check out the cabinet, and then I'm going to show you some of the tools that we use to achieve this goal. Starting with the bottom row of our cabinet, you can see all of the glass jars that are filled with items that can be purchased in bulk. Now generally we shop at Winco, Sprouts, and Whole Foods. These three places have different options for bulk, so we end up shopping around. It's a little bit inconvenient. We're trying to figure out the best system that's most convenient for our lifestyle, but so far it seems to be working. All of our jars have the weights written on them, so it's easy and convenient for the cashier or clerk to subtract the tare weight from the scale so that we don't end up paying for the weight of our jar. The second row has a few things that can be recycled, like the aluminum cans and glass jars. Now generally we keep the glass jars because we have more things that we want to add to our bottom row for bulk. So when we're done with this peanut butter jar and that marinara jar, we're going to go ahead and wash it, remove the label, and then reuse it. You can see this plastic bottle from Sprouts. It was really difficult to find tahini, and this was just the only option they had, so we got this. But we are going to be reusing this plastic jar once we're done with the tahini. We have a couple of soups that are in cardboard containers that can be recycled. And same thing for the baby food in the back. Those are in cardboard containers which can be recycled. Now these two baskets here actually have things that we've been trying to eat through. Some of those are tea bags in there, and then we have some candy left over from the holidays. Once these things are gone, we're going to replace them with loose leaf tea. And actually what we've been doing for candy is buying that in bulk as well. This top row has been one of the most difficult to change because these are the snack foods that are really hard to find in bulk. Things like chips. We eat chips, we make nachos, my daughter loves barbecue chips, and I haven't found a place that offers these items in bulk. Also some of these things we've been trying to eat through, like the popcorn. We had this box of Red Lobster biscuits that we bought when we first moved into this house about 10 months ago before we started going zero waste. Now this side right here is pretty cool. These three containers have coffee, cereal, and oatmeal, all of which were bought in bulk. I bring the containers into the store with me with the weight already taped on there, fill it with my item, they subtract the tare weight, and I leave the store without any packaging. We've come a long way with the fridge, and this was actually one of the easier things to swap over to zero waste. On the top row, we have drinks, beer, wine, a couple of sparkling waters. All of those containers are recyclable. Second row, we've got, of course, our pineapple, some wasabi cilantro there in the back, glass jar for apple juice, the paper carton for the almond milk, and then of course our Brita water filter. This row has been a little more difficult to eliminate plastic. You'll see on the right side we have a couple of yogurt containers. My wife and daughter love yogurt. They're not willing to give it up. I don't blame them, and we haven't found a sustainable alternative yet, so it is what it is. On the left side, the only plastic container over there is that sour cream, and everything else is in a glass jar. We have a couple of things pickling there in the back, and then this is actually just some leftovers from Mexican the other night that's wrapped up in just a napkin. This is my favorite shelf. This is the fresh fruit shelf. Every one of these items was bought without a plastic bag. We used our simple Ecology cotton bags at the farmer's market and came home, washed the fruit, put it into the bowls, so it's easily accessible and convenient to snack on. In the back, you see that bees wrap. That's a wax paper wrap that we use to cover our bowls, wrap our fruit, and place a saran wrap. This is our vegetable drawer. Again, every one of these things was bought without a plastic bag using our simple Ecology cotton bags. When we come home, we store these things loose in the fridge so that the moisture doesn't break them down, and these things will stay fresh for at least 10 days. On the door, we have a few plastic items, but on this top row is going to be baby food. These are all glass jars, all of which will be washed and reused once we start making our own baby food. We eat vegan and vegetarian as often as possible, although we haven't fully transitioned over to that lifestyle yet. So we still eat eggs, we eat meat occasionally, and yogurt and cheese. Now when we buy eggs, of course we try to buy something that's ethical, something that's cage-free, something that doesn't have a bunch of antibiotics and a bunch of BS inside of it. On this row is butter and baby food. These ones here are actually made with aluminum. I'm not sure if they're recycled, but it's a pretty good product. The baby seems to enjoy it, although we are going to be eliminating this once they're gone and we start making our own baby food. Everything here is glass except for the almond creamer. That was actually given to my wife by a coworker. She didn't like it, she was gonna throw it away, and so we took it home, and I'm just gonna use it in my coffee until it's gone. Only thing plastic on this shelf is that frosting container in the very back, which was given to us by my mom. On this row down here, we still have ketchup, mustard, and ranch dressing in plastic containers. And again, once we eat through those, we're gonna find a recyclable alternative. This is what we've been using in place of plastic bags when we go shopping for fruit and vegetables. Generally, you're gonna pull a plastic bag off of that little dispenser, stuff your fruit or vegetables into the plastic bag, and carry on with your life. This allowed us to eliminate single-use plastic bags. These are from Simple Ecology. There's a link in the description box if you want to check them out. These are made with 100% organic cotton, and there's actually a tear weight stitched onto the tag, which allows the cashier to subtract that weight from the scale so that you don't end up paying for the weight of the bag. Now keep in mind that most retail grocery stores have no experience with this. Their cashiers aren't trained how to do this. Their computer system might not even have the ability to subtract the tear weight from the scale. So what you're going to want to do is grab a manager and ask them if they have the ability to do this, or if they even allow things like this into the store. It actually says on the Costco website that they don't allow outside containers for contamination and for weight reasons. Now, I've got a video specifically for that. Click right here if you want to watch it to hear my opinion on that. So I avoid Winco because they're not going to accommodate the tear weight, but Sprouts, Whole Foods, and Nugget seem to be pretty good about it. Sprouts, again, their employees aren't all trained on how to do it. I've actually had some pretty frustrating experiences over there with some of the newer cashiers and clerks trying to subtract the tear weight. So what I did is I actually had the manager show me how to do it so that I can show the clerk when I go in and they happen to not know how to do it. Nugget is great. Whole Foods is fantastic. Their customer service is excellent. This seems to be a regular thing over there, and they're actually really excited when people do this because they're generally a sustainable store. So I highly recommend checking these out. You can get a pack of 6 for like 15 bucks on Amazon. There's other options too other than Simple Ecology. This just happens to be the one that we bought, and so far we're really happy with it. These are wax cloth wraps. These are made with 100% organic cotton, and they're infused with beeswax and essential oils. We use these in place of Ziploc bags and saran wrap. It's actually pretty convenient, pretty practical. We've been using them for about 6 weeks now. There is a little bit of a learning curve figuring out the best way to use these things. Etee and Bees Wrap actually have videos all online showing how to properly use them, but so far we enjoy them. And this is just a great sustainable alternative to using Ziploc bags and saran wrap. There's also something you can make yourself at home with an old pillowcase or maybe an old sheet. There's a bunch of DIY videos on YouTube that you can find to figure out how to make these yourself, but this is a great sustainable alternative to single-use plastic. Paper napkins and paper towels are a little bit lower on the waste scale because they actually can degrade over time. If you throw them in water or even a landfill, they are going to break down over time. Now, there is a lot of waste that's created from actually manufacturing the napkins and the paper towels. Unless you're buying something that's made with recycled material, it's likely that they actually cut down trees to make those. And so what we're trying to do is avoid waste both in the house and outside of the house. We're trying to close that loop upstream. So we eliminated napkins from our house, and the way that we did that is we actually just bought some regular old linens, cotton linens. We actually picked these up at a yard sale at the church right around the corner. They ended up giving us these for free because I told them what we were trying to do through eliminating single-use plastic in the house, and she seemed pretty excited, so she hooked us up for free. So now we're saving money on napkins and using a sustainable alternative that we just use as needed and wash as needed. The reality is we haven't completely eliminated single-use plastic from our house. Bread. We love bread. We make sandwiches, we make French toast. Bread is just one of those staples, and we haven't gotten in the habit of buying bread from the baker. I know, it seems simple enough, but again, we're trying to build these habits, build this lifestyle and this routine, and it's a matter of breaking those old habits and creating new ones. And this is just one of those things that we haven't fully implemented yet. Now, my wife does make bread at home. But again, building that into your routine, doing that every single week. We have kids, we both work. It's hard to find time to do that, every single week. And so it's just not a perfect system. And when we make French toast, in my opinion, brioche is the best bread for French toast. And I haven't found a baker locally that makes this. And we haven't figured out how to make this in our house as well, at least making a good tasty product. So this is just one of those things that I haven't been able to eliminate yet, but it is a work in progress. You probably noticed when you go to the store that a lot of the items only come available in plastic. Things like strawberries and grapes generally are going to be wrapped in a plastic basket or a plastic bag. I was actually avoiding strawberries and grapes for a while because I didn't want to use the plastic. And once we got in the habit of going to the farmer's market every week, we found that they were obviously sending strawberries home in these plastic baskets. But what's cool is the growers are actually open to these being returned to their stand, which they will wash and reuse for the next person to buy. So we basically just collect these over a number of weeks, and we rinse them off, and then when they're ready to be returned to the grower, we take them back to the market. The grower takes them, refills them, and the next person can reuse them. Same thing with eggs. A lot of the local farmers around here are really friendly, and they're open to reusing egg cartons. So basically what we do is we collect these things over time and return them in bulk to the farmer. Thank you so much for watching. Leave your questions and comments below. Check the description box for links to Etee, Bees Wrap, and Simple Ecology. Go ahead and click that subscription button if you want to share and follow this journey. And remember, think globally, act locally.